Brought to you by Lister Pros TV, streaming from Tempe, Arizona. And we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, Jordan Nielsen here, host of Real Estate Pros on Lister Pros TV, and today we're here with Greg Yurkovic, the designated broker and owner of Platinum Realty Group.
Correct.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to join me on Real Estate Pros. So we'll give you a couple minutes to introduce yourself for those that don't know who you are.
Okay, yeah. So my name's Greg Yurkovic. I'm the designated broker owner of Platinum Realty Group. We've been around since the end of 2012, so about 6 years now. Currently about 35 agents. We manage 150 single family homes. So we're kind of building our brand based upon building our agents. Like I used to be with RE/MAX, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but the one thing I realized when I was with RE/MAX is RE/MAX wasn't really doing anything good for me. I was doing a lot of good for them. So I thought this model was broken, right? Like, why should I go out, hustle my butt off, and then if I don't pay my dues for 2 or 3 months and I get that commission, they take 2/3 of it. I'm like, why am I doing this, right? So I want to build a brokerage where the agents kind of drive the brand, right? Like, I can't be super successful as a brand without really good agents. And I can't have really good agents unless I'm really supporting them as a broker. So that's kind of how we kind of shifted the model a little bit. We kind of look at like the McDonald's scenario, right?
Yeah.
So like in McDonald's, like you buy a franchise, you get a building, but the corporate McDonald's is the one that sends you the hamburgers and the fries, right? You don't go out and grow your own potatoes, right? Like you get the fries from the corporate McDonald's. So that's kind of how we see our role, right? We've got to give you the tools, the marketing, the photography. You know, we use you guys for drones, right? So we try to give you all the tools as an agent, so that way you spend your time doing real estate and you don't spend a lot of your time doing crap that doesn't make any money, right? You get a transaction coordinator. You get a marketing rep, you get like all these other tools, and we build a team around you so that way you can go out and when you go to a listing presentation, you say, hey, listen, here's my team. We have a stager, we have a interior designer. Like, we give you tools so that, like, you set yourself apart from everybody else, right? Like, I even love, like, when we recruit a new agent, right, and they come in and we're like, hey, well, I have a listing appointment. Well, I'll bring the whole damn team to the listing appointment. Like, but I got to tell them, like, tell your client, like, 4 of us are coming, so they're prepared, right? Because some people open the door and there's, like, this team of people. And they're like, holy crap, like, who's all here, right? But we're just different, right? Because we go in and our goal is 100% closure. We're about mid-90s. Because when we come in the team, nobody else is doing that, right? My designer, I just walk in and let her go and, like, hey, start looking around the house and start, you know, giving them good advice. The benefit is if the designer says, hey, your house smells like dog piss, it's not coming from me, right? I'm like, hey, that's the designer,
party.
Right?
Hey, she's got to be right.
That's her opinion, right? You can take it or leave it. But I think some of these agents come in and are like, oh, well, I can stage and I can do this and I can do that. And how about you just do real estate, right? Like, you think of a team, right? You don't have, like, Tom Brady doesn't throw the ball and, you know, run out and catch it himself, right?
He tried to in the Super Bowl.
He did.
Right?
And how'd that work out?
It did not work out,
right?
Oh,
right?
Man.
So Nick Foles got away with it. But But so that's how we look at it. Like, we tell everybody in our office, like, stay in your lane, right? Like, we have our own handyman. We have, like, all this staff. Just stay in your lane, right? When you're the handyman, just go do the handyman stuff, right? Don't give people advice on color or, you know, fixtures or finishes. Just, we'll buy the fixtures, we'll deliver them, and you just hang them up, right? So everybody stays in their lane, and it actually goes really well. We can do we're doing one right now up in Fireside, Norterra. Mm-hmm. Paint, new fixtures, everything. We'll be done in about 6 days. So that's because everybody has their role when they come in, and it just goes really smooth.
So is this a resale property that you're talking about?
Yeah, so it's a buddy of mine's house, right? So he's like, hey, he goes, I have to interview a couple people, right? Well, I'm like, all right, well, I'll bring my team in, and we'll start talking. And we were there about half hour, and he's like, all right, I'm done. He's like, just when can you get on the market, right? So we want to paint, get change out your fixtures, you know, and stuff like that. So we moved him out on Saturday, and we'll be on the market Friday.
Man.
So, yeah.
So that's you guys are super, like, advanced on the front end, because a lot of people will be like, I'm not going to send anybody out, a stager or whatnot, designer, unless I get the listing. No,
right.
You guys show up to the listing, you're already
we're guns blazing.
Going through it.
And if you kick us out and don't hire us, you're not gonna, then you're on your own, right? It's kind of like one of those things, like, I don't understand, like, that 1 out of 20 or that 1 out of 15 that we sometimes don't get. I can't never understand, like, what is it that somebody else does that we're not doing, right? Because I look at MLS listings all the time. I'm looking at their pictures and what they put in the documents tab. I'm like, they're not doing jack squat. Like, how are these people getting listings? And so we're really successful when we come into an opportunity like that because it's just the team, right? The best part is the owners have questions about real estate. That's where I'm at, right? But what they really get caught up in is like the finishes. Like, oh, do you like these fixtures? And, our designer will be like, no, you know what, Home Depot. And she'll get out her phone and be like, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And by the time we leave, the owners are like, oh, this is fantastic. I'm super excited. It has bit me in the butt once. We actually did have a house. I think they lived in the house like 17 years. We totally flipped the whole inside, and they didn't sell.
Oh.
So I'm like, all right, just pay me for some time on my team, and we're happy to, but that happens. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe my house could be this awesome. And it's like, yeah, unfortunately, it could be. So we get a lot of that. But
so did they not sell and
they didn't sell.
Keep leaving there?
They're still there to this day.
It's like, you made it so nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's on my whiteboard in my office. I'm like, one day these people are going to have to sell. So, but yeah, I mean, that's just like our approach is like, we want agents to come in and be like, okay, how do we get you? If you did 6 deals, you did 8 deals, how do we get you to 10, 12, right? I hear a lot of pitches from brokers all over they're like, oh, we have leads coming in and, we have so many leads we don't know what to do with. And then people go there and after 6 months, they're disenchanted. They're like, oh, well, it wasn't what you promised me. So I try to be really honest with people. It's 50-50. If you can do half the work, we'll do the other half, right? We'll support you. We'll do whatever you want. I love teaching. We do a lot of YouTube videos. I do a lot of stuff like that, which I really, really like. I like the coaching aspect of it, right? So if you need something, you want to shadow me, or you have a listing appointment, I love going to those. I love teaching people those kinds of things. But, agents are agents, right? Some agents come in and they're like, oh, well, I have nothing going and it's your fault. And I'm like, well, that's fine. They go, hey, I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm like, great, but your shitty attitude's going to go with you, right? That's not a platinum thing, right? We didn't create your bad attitude or your poor work ethic. Right? That's kind of something that you have to work on. I can't change that.
Sure.
And I think too many times agents, number one, people get in the business for the wrong reason, right? They're like, oh, if I do 2 or 3 deals a year and I can do it part-time, I can make some extra money. And then they get involved and then their clients are pissed because they're not available 9 to 5 or, then the weekend comes like, well, I would like to spend time with my family, so I really don't want to do real estate. And they're like, how come this isn't working? And it's like, it's a 24/7 job. And if you're not ready for the grind, it's not for you, right? I always kid people all the time when I meet with like marketing reps from title companies or you go on these tours and you talk about agents and, so many people end up, there's like a 90% washout rate, right?
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of that is because it's a grind and the money sucks up front and you got to really grind. If you can't grind, then, like if you're a new agent, Jordan, you came in, you're like, hey, I got my license and I was competing with you for a listing, you don't stand a chance in hell because I have over time built this team, right? So that's where, and you also hear about like Open Door and Purple Bricks, all this other crap that people are worried about. Yes, if you're in the bottom 50%, you should be very worried because they're going after your customer, right? But when I come in, I'm like, hey, we're going to repaint your house and we're going to, change all the fixtures and my designer's going to spend time with you going to pick out granite or whatever we do. Like Open Door ain't doing that. So Open Door and us aren't competing.
Sure.
Right? But I do have a funny Open Door story. Am I allowed to share it? Am I
Yeah,
allowed to share it? You sure?
Let's hear it.
Is this okay?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm not going to name names. But the other agents out there will be happy to hear the story. So had a meeting with somebody from there. You might want to kill this. I don't know. Anyways, I don't know if I want to tell the story now that I brought it.
It's up to you.
Okay. So
or we can share it after. It's up to
let's
you.
share it. Let's do it off camera. We'll share it. But it's interesting. They have a great product of what they're doing, but they're really not competing with agents. And agents that think they're competing with us, then you're not doing your job right. Right. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But yeah, because what they're doing for people is not what we should be doing, right? And people are so worried about OfferPad and Open Door, but the We Buy Ugly Home guys, they've been around for decades,
sure,
right? So it's not a new program that they're doing. OfferPad just has a really good program on how they're doing it. They're using the internet, and so if you as an agent think you're competing with them, then you're not doing your job right? So that's the big thing. We look at revenue streams of how people can make money. We want agents that come in and be like, hey, you know what? Can I do commercial? Yeah, you can do a little commercial. Can we do flips? We do flips. We do a lot of stuff with people. Like my team will come in. Let's say we come into your house, Jordan, and you bought it in '94, right? You've lived in it. You haven't touched it.
Got the brass fixtures.
You got the brass. Yeah, everything's brass and gold and shiny, right? And you're like, hey, I want to sell my house. I have $100,000 of equity, but I have no money. right? Well, we'll come in, we'll get you the money. That's not a problem. We can find the money for you to do your flip for you, and then, in fact, you don't have to pay us till we close. So for you, it's no money out of pocket. The other good thing is we have a project manager that just says, Jordan, we're gonna put on lockbox. I'll tell you when we're coming. I'll tell you who's coming, and just stay out of the way, right? That's kind of the goal. Is the less you do, the better for us, right? Because we just know what we do, and we want to get in and do it. And what happens is owners will be like, oh, my cousin's next door neighbor's best friend is a painter. And then they go, we're going to hire him. And then you go in there and you're like, yeah, this isn't the standard we want, right? So now we have to have a hard conversation like, we got to repaint your house, right? Now this costs us 2 weeks and now money. And so that's a challenge. That's why we like owners that go, hey, here's the key. I don't give a rip anymore. Just get in there and fix it up. Sure. That's the best.
So where is your guys' office located?
So we're at Metro Center, but we're real mobile. I mean, our office is about as big as this room, right? When I was with Remax, since I've already thrown them under the bus, I might as well keep going. I was in an office that could hold like 40 people, and nobody walked in the door.
By yourself, or
well, yeah, it was like 6 of us, right? Yeah, but nobody ever walked in the door. I was there 3 years. I'm like, they're like, hey, you want floor time? I'm like, sure. Like, I was a new agent. I didn't know. I'd sit there all day. Nobody call in. Nobody call. I'm like, something's not right, right? Thinking more it was a Remax issue, you kind of realize now in the days of Zillow and Trulia and Realtor.com, it's just the way the market is. People start online. If you're not online, they're not going to find you. Nobody's walking into Remax anymore. And I know there's going to be people out there that tell me I'm crazy, but the statistics don't lie, right? 94%, I think they say people start their search online. And I would still say to this day, you know, agents are probably spending most of their time online or having some success. The agents that are sitting in a office waiting for the phone to ring probably are still struggling.
Yeah.
Just because the market's so different, right? People are so much more empowered. Even though Zillow and Trulia suck, right? We as agents know they're awful. They at least give them a little bit of a jump start to get somewhat educated, and that's our job to kind of take them the rest of the way.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yep. So let's talk about multiple revenue streams, because I think that's unique about your guys'
So what we do is we look at, we talked about a little bit like our flipper home program we kind of talked about. That's where we will invest in the seller's home for the upgrades, for the finishes. Now you're guaranteed we're gonna get the listing. We got to make sure there's enough equity and stuff like that. But as an agent, if I came in and pitched you and say, Jordan, listen, I'll give you an example. Just did one in Avondale. It was an estate sale. It was on the market at $233 for about 45 days. They had a $200,000 offer, cash, as is. But the house, the pool was green, the floor was laminate, the counters were laminate, right? It was pieces of crap. And when they went to the court for the probate, there wasn't enough money. Like by the time you paid closing costs and paid attorney fees, there was like a $185,000 loan on the property. So they kind of were like, hey, we have to kind of start over and figure something out. Well, they called me. We went in, I think we put $15,000 into the house, and we closed tomorrow at $268.
Wow.
So for $15,000, we made them $55,000 more, $53,000 more, right? So it's not that surprising that can be done. People will pay for good stuff, right? It's a different buyer than it was 10 years ago, where people just needed to get in and get the basics. People now want nice stuff. I mean, heck, there's apartment complexes out there that have granite countertops, right? Mm-hmm. So they're used to that. That's like the basic now. So it's really changed. So Flipper Home is a great program for our agents. I have one agent. That's all she does. Like if you don't want to flip your home with her, she doesn't want the listing, which is her choice. I let them make their own business plans, right? That's her choice. I have an agent that does a lot of stuff on their own, and they don't pay themselves a lot of commission. That's fine. I let them run their business the way they want. But then we have a home buyers club. Like we do a lot of rentals, right? We manage almost 150 properties. So we get a lot of people with bad credit or, just not good enough credit, right? Mm-hmm. So we put them in our program for free and just analyze their credit and be like, hey, do you know if you paid this off and let this go in the not go like not pay for it, but don't put any extra money towards these things and pay these things off, your credit will go up and you'll be ready to buy. So that's a little bit longer term plan because you got to stay on we kind of work with people, and sometimes people just aren't really interested when they have an extra $300. You're like, dude, this is the time to put that towards that credit card. And they're like, oh, I'd rather have a new flat screen, right?
Right.
You can, it's 50-50. We're going to do our half, but if you don't do your half, we can't help you. But we do have that program for people. And it does give us a good pipeline of opportunities for agents that, work with these people, and our lenders work with them and kind of move them along. And so that's another revenue stream. Obviously, buyers and sellers. Our seller program is pretty good with the team. I'll let my agents do commercial. they have to work with me. I've done quite a few commercial deals, so I know the gist of commercials. So you hate to pass that up, right?
Sure, yeah.
Hopefully
Those
the
are
state of
usually
Arizona is not
bigger
watching
deals.
this, right?
Yeah.
But like, you know, I one time did a lease for a team of doctors for a 6-year medical lease at $20,000 a month. That paid a heck of a lot more money than 95% of your real estate transactions do, right? So I thought, you know, I don't want agents to be hamstrung. You know, I want to help them, but because it's not their specialty, they are using my license, so I have to be involved. But again, I'm like, don't turn that business away, right? Because sometimes you turn business away, it never comes back. You only know a certain amount of people, right? You're only tight with a certain amount. If those certain amounts start fleeing for you for other agents, it's tough to get those people back. So that's the property management's our best, right? Because what we basically do is we have already the office staff. You know, we're running at like 80% capacity, so we can take on more work. So what we tell our agents is like, hey, go out and get a property management deal from your buddy, your friend, whatever, and start building up your own portfolio. Charge them a monthly fee, whatever you guys agree to. If it's like, let's say it's $85, we're going to charge you $30 a month. We're going to collect the rent. We're going to take care of all the repair requests. All we want you to do as an agent is move people in, move people out. If you get somebody on a 3-year lease, then don't bother them for 3 years. We'll take care of the rest. And we charge you $30. So if you charge your client, say $90, you're making $60 a month. I have one agent that has like 14 properties, right? So she's driving a brand new Mercedes, right? All based upon her passive income. So I try to tell agents like, listen, there is no passive income in this business, right? Unless you're going to join an MLM or something stupid like that, there is no like repeat business. But for her, she has 16 properties. If in 5 years she has 42 properties, you know, she can have a nice nest egg that if she's making $4,000 a month and does a couple deals a year and she's 65, the stress level goes way down, right? She doesn't have to keep doing real estate when it's 110 degrees out and you can barely walk down the stairs, right? You don't want that to be your future. And unfortunately, that's the future for us as agents because there is no other way to really build that nest. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're good at saving money, but agents aren't really good at saving money, right?
So talk to us a little bit about your YouTube channel because I find that interesting. It seems like video is becoming more and more popular.
Yeah, so we're doing
agents.
a lot. Yeah, we're doing a lot of videos. So everything we've done in the past. So it's interesting you brought this up. We've been having the debate in the office, right? Because we have a marketing team. You know, I have staff. So I'm not like a lone gunman, right? I kind of rely on my team. Well, they're pushing me now to go public with the YouTube channel, right? I'm like, I kind of like the private idea of like, hey, come to us. Yeah. You get private access. But so it'll be opening up, probably being public in the next couple weeks. But we're going to start adding, you know, about 3 or 4 videos a week. And a lot of it's just simple stuff like 1 minute, 2 minute stuff. But simple